All right, welcome. I am here with Gylfi, who runs a great YouTube channel called Just Icelandic. I know many of you are fans of his. You follow his channel. He's an Icelander who has put together a great YouTube channel that has great videography of some of the eruptions that have happened over the last few months, but also just some of the landscapes in Iceland. And I'm really pleased to have you here today, Gylfi. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, maybe I think your viewers, maybe this is the first time they've actually seen you. And so they're probably...
There might be 5 seconds in some video, but I never talk about it.
Yeah. Your mainly focus is your great videography and the drone footage you put together. So I think this is a real treat for people to actually be able to get to know you a little bit and hear not just the voice, but see the person behind the voice and behind the videos.
Yes, I've been asked about this for some time.
Yeah. So we're making some people happy all around. So
yeah, I hope so. It was a good chance to appear and picture myself.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yes, finally. Well, maybe talk a little bit about your background, where you grew up. I know you're a native of Iceland, so maybe talk about your childhood and background and your upbringing.
Yeah, I'm from this town, Akureyri, capital of North Iceland, and I lived here until I was, when I was about 20, I started to go to Grindavík on fishing season, and I gradually moved to Reykjavík, where I had my own retail store for almost 30 years.
What kind of store?
It was a mobile phone store.
Oh, okay.
Very innovative, and I was doing my export and manufacturing, designing and manufacturing mobile parts, like wallets from Icelandic skins, okay. And so I had a fine business going for a long time, but it was always a hard market for the...
And constantly changing too,
yeah,
so it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, so I got tired of this.
Right.
But as for the geology, it is easy to get that in the blood around here.
Right.
Because I'm old enough to witness the volcanic tectonic chapter between 1980, what was it, 1975 and 1984 with 9 eruptions by Krafla. Yeah. And that's when I witnessed first a volcanic glow from home. We could see it when it was erupting there, and we had a summer house east near the Ásbyrgi formation, and then in 1976 there was a large earthquake that I felt, and all of a sudden it was a bit longer way to the summer house.
And the geology came to you basically in North Iceland.
Yeah, and 2 years after that, I was working as a teenager in a sheep farm for one spring during a lambing season, and they had a seismometer in the basement, the old ones.
Just on the farm?
Yeah, with the paper rolls.
Yeah, with the little
I think it was installed there after the 1976 earthquake.
Okay.
When I was 10 years old, and so I was young when I got to understand that, there was, Iceland was a bit different.
Yes.
And I think that the reason that brought me into photography and this was that I was in my own retail store for many years, tied down often. Sometimes I had employees, sometimes I had 2 stores for a while, but I had always this urge to get out. So when
it wasn't your passion,
it's to breathe in the country, the Icelandic nature. It's just the best place for me in the world.
Right.
If I have something to do, if I have some gear with me, for photo gear, that's that's the best of times. So during the last year when I was in retail, every weekend I would go out, and the Reykjanes Peninsula was a bit my playground, and this was also to get away from people.
Right.
Like
an escape.
Like an escape. Because standing in a store, all day servicing and that, it was often wearing me out. So this was I had Grindavík and the Reykjanes Peninsula, because I have a kind of background from Grindavík when I was working there. So I would come there to a harbor cafe every time I was in the peninsula. It was my rituals, you know, to have my cup of to-go cocoa and hit the road again. And so when this started on the Reykjanes Peninsula, I was
in 2020.
Yeah,
the first
I
round?
was instantly drawn into this.
And you were running your mobile phone company still at that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
And no, I just came back here.
Okay.
I came here back in 2019.
But you hadn't started the YouTube thing yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wasn't planning to grow large and go as deep into YouTube as it was, because the original plan was to do the same as I did with eBay a few years before, when I had the largest eBay store in Iceland for a while. I was selling a lot of leftover stock from my store and such. But I was also selling DVDs and documentaries, and there were so few documentaries available about Iceland. If they were there, it was, you know, the quality was so and so. So this kind of got me drawn into.
That planted the seed, yeah.
Yeah, that, you know, okay, there is lack of good stuff from Iceland, and there is lack. We need more YouTubers. Yeah, because strangely enough, we are very, you know, we have one of the best internets in the world, you know, good speed, and, you know, we are, you know,
technologically very savvy, this country.
Yeah, but when it comes to like
content,
because we are the buyers, we are not the creators. That is what is lacking. So I had a good success on eBay, and I made a seminar that I held for many years, often in cooperation with some schools here, and where I was teaching Icelanders how to trade, sell on eBay, find Icelandic goods and ideas. And I was going to run that seminar for 3 months, but I ended up 3-4 years. So I thought, okay, I can do that. Right. So one of the ideas I had was to make a seminar about YouTube. But I thought, okay, but I need first to, you know, get at least thousands of subscribers. And,
so you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and to get the monetization going and such. And it was, I think the first eruption started like 2 months after they got the monetization. So this was extremely
good timing.
Good, yeah. But I got so drawn into this that I have written a big part of the seminar. It is. I would have to sit down for, you know, like 2 more weeks and write the rest and record it and that. But I don't have that time now. Yeah. Like I was going to make a video about my plans for the channel in January. Was supposed to be one of my first videos. Then we had an eruption early January, and this has been eating up all my time. Yeah. So
keeping you busy.
Yeah, but while I have been doing that, I've been following a good advice. You know, just produce, and produce. Do the mistakes you need to do, and learn from them. Right. So I thought, okay, if I do this seminar, I will have a background of, I'm close to 100,000 subs now, so it will just help me. So,
right, you'll have an audience for it.
Yeah, that is not going anywhere, because I would like to see more Icelanders do the same thing as me.
Do you think that it's the personality of people from Iceland, that they're more reserved and they're not as likely to want to do something like a YouTube channel and create content and be promotional? Is it maybe?
No, we are not. Okay. And many good artists come from Iceland, from this environment. And I think it's that we can blame it partly on the media, because they don't encourage people to seek information on YouTube. Like, they are a bit scared. Right. That if we lose them on YouTube, for information, to seek information, they might not come back for a while.
Oh, so they're
click on our ads.
Maybe worried about them losing their cultural identity and their Icelandic identity a little bit.
Might be something like that, but I've been such a YouTube user for a long time that you know, when in the world news, when something is happening, you know, I go usually straight there, because I know I will get, you know, little headline, maybe little photo, but you know,
right,
that might be live broadcast from, you know, many angles from this particular event. So I try to. So we have a very small media environment,
right?
And I think that that is helping you.
Yeah,
you came into this market with a geology classroom, and this was needed. You know, someone with background experience. And the Icelandic media has not been covering this. We have English news as well, but you know, there are several lines.
Yeah.
You use them sometimes, and it doesn't take a long time.
Yeah, and it's just regurgitating the same thing that is put out by the Met Office or whatever.
And there are no serious questions. That is what I miss. That, you know, I'm going to do in future. There are many serious questions that they face, and the Icelandic experts, they are often reluctant to come up with answers.
Yeah, very reserved.
Yeah. So Icelanders and YouTube, this is strange. This is just strange.
Yeah, and there's plenty of people in Iceland doing tourism videos and, you know, travel here. I feel like that niche has been filled or is filled by people from Iceland. Like, learn the language, here's the sights to see. But in terms of like the landscapes, which you cover, and you know, and the videography, and then answering the questions, I think that's why your channel is so appealing. Is it's great imagery, it's great videography, but the voice and your personality is very real, and they can tell that you're genuine and you're from Iceland and you're asking questions. And I think that's not the same as what they get from someone else who's jumping up and down and saying, come visit the Blue Lagoon or something like that. Does that sound fair?
There are things about, like the tourism videos and the tourism packets that I so don't like.
They're too over the top?
Yes, and you know, everything is wonderful. You know. Here is, you know, our fine rotten shark. It smells like, you know, channel number 5.
Right.
and everything like that. So I was thinking, you know, people, like when I travel, you know, I've learned to sort these things out, you know. Okay, here is something that is, you know, just a surface scraping.
Right.
Where you can get the same information everywhere. But I thought, okay, I want to do it more myself. I cannot do this work unless I can be in full control of what I say.
Yeah.
No editor, and brutally honest view is something.
Yeah, and you're honest. You're sarcastic at times. You're funny at times, and I think that's I think people want that. They don't want it over polished and scripted. And I don't know if you think about what you're going to say before you do your videos, or if it's all
I script a lot,
ad lib, but it's very well polished. But it's still your thoughts. It's not cut and pasted from a travel site.
I take it's a lot of time that goes into scripting.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing now is that the traffic that comes through the geology is very unstable, as you might know.
Right.
So what I always wanted to do was a series of videos that will cover more or less a daily life. So I have a series in the making that is visiting Icelandic towns. So I want to cover each and every town in Iceland. But I'm in the 3rd version now. The first version was quite raw with the camera in front of the car. Then I started to do my
like a drive-through kind of thing.
Then I started with the voiceover and through the older, And then I came the drone, and okay, then I threw the altar.
So yeah, it's evolving.
Yeah,
and it's not exactly where you want it yet, but it's really getting there.
Yeah, I need to form the script a bit better. Yeah. So I will cover the same angle. So I've been learning as I go, but this is a very fun project.
Yeah.
In some cases, you know, I'm in towns that I love, you know, that, you know, can be extremely good hubs for tourists. I'm a lot into undervalued places because we are trying to squeeze all the tourists into the same place, and that is the main problem. Right. Iceland is not oversold, but we are overselling some places while we are leaving, you know, places like Akureyri and the so-called Arctic Coastway that we are a part of here. We are leaving that totally behind.
Yeah. You think all the tourists are funneled into the same places, and all the buses stop at the same place? I agree.
This is a big problem.
Yeah.
Because this is what people can see through a channel. You know, we are so much more than the Golden Circle.
Right.
And I like to do those town videos my way, and like the next one that I will be uploading, it is probably the most boring town in Iceland.
Can you tell me which town it is? Or you want to keep it under wraps? Okay, that's fine.
I will tell you later, but it's close to Gylfi.
Okay.
And it's a place where you cannot buy hot dogs.
That's rare in Iceland, yeah.
Yeah, you should. You know, population of 50 should be enough to get a hot dog.
Right.
When I went there the other day, I could not even get a cup of coffee. But I could buy chicken wings named after a Korean dictator. So,
but it has its charm, and I think that's what's nice about it. Every town's different, and they all have like they're all their different flavor.
And I've learned from my viewers when I mentioned those dull places. Yeah, tell me about it. I want to know what town this is.
Yeah,
because this is a part of the attraction. You know, how is Iceland town that is, you know, all work, no fun, and how are they?
Yeah. Well, that's real Iceland.
They are not saturated with tourism.
Right. But it's a more authentic view of what Iceland is like. Yeah.
So I tend to add a dash of sarcasm to it, if I can.
Yeah.
But it makes when I'm scripting a video, it makes it more fun.
Yeah. Well, you have to. I mean, and that's you. I mean, I think your personality and your sense of humor. You know, if you're trying to be someone else on the videos, that comes across as fake.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you have to be yourself.
That's why I was independent in business for so long, because you know, I could not sell what others bought and told me to sell.
Yeah, you couldn't conform to the company standard.
It might have been crap, and that didn't work for me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I look forward to that. That sounds like a fun series.
This is a fun series to make, and I'm also searching for little tips that are economical, like you can go fishing in 35 lakes in Iceland for 70 euros, something like that.
Right.
That is very cheap in our country, and you know, fish all summer for, you know, for money like that. So there are little tips that are.
It's kind of like the behind the scenes or the under the radar.
Yeah, I made a video a year ago where I explained the ring road around Iceland. But the tourism industry picked up the ring road as, you know, if you do the ring road.
Right.
But the ring road was established as a concept for our transport network.
Right, trucking and transporting goods, right?
And it opened formally with the opening of a bridge in 1974, crossing the south coast, the last obstacle there, and we called it the ring road, and the tourism industry, by a mistake, picked that up.
So it was unintentional.
Yeah.
But now they've run with it, and there's buses running around the whole island, and
so they leave the Snæfellsnes Peninsula where we have the mighty Snæfellsjökull glacier, glacier covered volcano. fantastic landscape. They're very special. They left the complete Westfjords.
Yeah, Westfjords, yeah, there.
And they left the complete northeast region. And that includes waterfalls like Dettifoss. So this is, like I was explaining in that video, it was a terrible idea to allow the tourism market to let this grow. And it was also not thought out fully, this golden circle.
Yeah.
Because, you know, many tourists who come here, those 2-3 days, and they stay in Reykjavik most of the time, but the only tour is this golden circle.
Yeah, because it's close to Reykjavik.
Yeah, yeah. But there are so many, you know, trips.
Yeah.
And like in the video I was uploading last night, I had videos from a valley called the Móhálsadalur, one of the words that, and it's like 15-20 minutes from Reykjavik. The road is open during summer, and it is a volcanic highland landscape there. It's out of this world landscape. And the moss there, it pops out really strong during summer. And we totally have ignored the Reykjanes Peninsula before the eruption.
Right.
But
that's just where you landed your plane, and then you headed into Reykjavik.
Yeah.
I mean, no one really spent time
So
there.
like I've been, one of the videos that I meant to do is, you know, the long way into Reykjavik. Because it's not, it's actually harder now while Grindavík is closed. But the long way into Grindavík is something that it's the first place I would like to get tourists to see, if they are interested in the geology, is the place called the Bridge Between Continents. Because that is, you know, is the best start to see Iceland.
Right. Yeah, that's right. I start people down at the tip of the peninsula. Reykjanes Viti, the lighthouse there at Valanukur.
Yeah.
That's the plate. Here's the plate boundary coming onto the continent. That seems like the best place to start.
Yeah, exactly. So this is, you know, this is we are so, you know, fixated on selling the easy stuff. You know? Okay, just go this golden circle, and you know.
Well, now I feel like it's almost with Instagram that's where the tourists go. Like they see the pictures, and so their itinerary in Iceland is I want to go here and get a picture here and a picture here and a picture here, and so they're just going to the places that look attractive on photos, and so they can get their selfie, and then it's on to the next one. And there's so many lesser known waterfalls or landscapes that the tourists don't know, and so they're missing them. And so, I mean,
this is one of the things I've been thinking about, is to do a series about waterfalls only. A series that would I'll be recording over a longer period of time as I'm on the road. But we have so many waterfalls that are undervalued.
Yes. And
then we see them all flock down to Gylfoss and, you know.
Skogafoss,
And
the ones next to the road.
Yeah.
And they're good. I mean, they are amazing. Gylfoss is amazing. It's a great waterfall, but you can see comparable waterfalls.
I don't like to see it represent the Icelandic tourism industry as in the level it does now.
Yeah,
it is too much, and our road systems are not handling this as well. I'm very concerned about road safety, and this is we are getting a lot of bad drivers on the roads, and this is getting getting a bit too much. So
it's unsafe.
Yeah, but I've been promoting the North Coast here a lot, and I plan, like now we are getting close to summer solstice. That's when I can film the sun, you know, just straight line. And I have a camera for that one now. So around the middle of June, I will be looking at the weather forecast, you know, and hope it work out. Where will be clear skies. But then we have got the northeastern part of Iceland, and the northeast corner. That's the best place. And there are a few little communities there that are quite isolated, and very few know of them. But there is a market for such, you know.
Yeah, the little towns, and a lot of people that travel want to see the small town, the authentic community.
Yeah.
But they don't know where some of these places are. They're on a road that's different.
That is the northeast part. That is not that is not a part of the ring road.
Right.
So, plus the Westfjords. So, I have been thinking about lately how to make a video about, I want to make one first that advises people to go there. If you're here for summer solstice, this is the place.
Yeah. If
you wanna see the sun, you know, do
a big circle, right?
Yeah. We can also go to Island Grímsey. I plan to go there. So this is.
You have a lot of projects.
Yeah, I have a list in my computer, and it's terribly long. And I was looking at it after the other day, and I was thinking, wow, I will never finish this.
Right.
But it's good to have it, because I've started to prioritize now. To, you know, what is important.
Yeah.
And it might be at some time point that I get someone to work with me on this project, if it economically allows me to do so.
Right.
So, because I look at I will continue to do my volcano related content, and what I want to do is to cover all the major systems. So.
On the Reykjanes, or even across the whole island, all of them.
And I want, because there is so much of videos that simply are not available here. Like we have this canyon from the glacier Vatnajökull, and the giant flood that carved out the Ásbyrgi formation a long time ago. But we haven't got it explained. Nobody has explained it for me. What happened?
Right.
It is, you know, it's a wake. But I would like to see it more graphically.
Yeah, right.
So I am hoping to
That'd make a great video,
yeah. I'm hoping to invest in I need more gear for that, camera gear. So I'm hoping to invest in a more cinematic camera and I have my drone. And I think I could get that project funded for some part here in Iceland. Because you know what money Icelanders are interested in, but to cover the canyon from the sea and all the way up to the glacier.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
And I would like if
IMAX screen, like the big
and
the dream, right?
And I was thinking, okay, if I'm going to rent a helicopter, I need someone to go with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to explain things, but I will do images even lighter if I could get the equipment.
Right.
To see what if it could be. Recreated in some way with modern technology.
Yeah.
Or to help us to get ideas, because the video technology is on such level now. So I want to do the ultra wide shots with a extra good camera, and drone shots from lower all this way. So just the filming would take me days. I could finish the helicopter in one day, but then I would use that to. And
then the drone with the close-ups.
To work out. Okay, here is something, you know.
It's a fascinating landscape. I was just at Dettifoss yesterday, and the boulders just at the parking area.
Yeah.
And it's just like where I live in the U.S. There was a big flood called the Bonneville flood, and I'm working with a company that's making a big IMAX movie about Lake Bonneville. So we had a big lake there that overspilled and had a huge flood down the Snake River. So it's the same sort of thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
And they're showing it with the computer graphics, and here's the flood coming through, and you're right, all the technology's there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not that much of a problem if I, as a cameraman, will know what I'm doing, where the angle is. It's easy to get a guy to do the CGI to replicate the rest.
Right.
So because we have this formation called Ásbyrgi, where it carved this out and washed it out to the sea.
Fox Canyon,
and there is not even one boulder there.
Yeah, it's flushed out.
Yeah.
Yep.
but they have they know pretty much about how old it is. They have been
2,500, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm. So I've been thinking, what caused this? Was this Bárðarbunga?
Mm-hmm.
Because Bárðarbunga has been rumbling since 2014. And our experts said back then that, this is just the beginning, the Holuhraun eruption.
Oh, yeah.
Back then, that's just the start, She is, she will continue to reload, and they got it right.
Mm-hmm.
She has been banging every now and then.
Yeah, very active.
Around magnitude 4 or 5, but smaller constantly. So there are two options, mainly. If it would erupt in the caldera, that would put us in at a bad spot. And if the caldera would breach, would it go to the east?
Right, where would all that water go?
Yeah. And the river Þjórsá, where I think we have 7 power plants in one of the rivers.
Oh.
So we have
a lot of things in the way.
Yeah, so I've been talking about, they have been trying to get license for one more than, and I've been saying, I think we have put more than enough eggs in that one basket.
So is there an Icelandic tourism company or someone you could partner with to do some of these bigger projects? Like, is there funding in the country if you just put in a proposal or something?
There is not, but there is a company that funds projects like filmmaking and such, crowdfunding. So I've been thinking about that, and I think my thinking was that the main cost for this kind of project it is the helicopter.
Yeah.
And
but if you could do it in a day, I mean, one helicopter a day.
Yeah, I could do it. I could do the helicopter in a day, and then I would just need a good jeep and start to hike again like I need.
Yeah. Right. Get on the ground. Well, the helicopter could drop you along.
Yeah.
I mean, it could even be a U.S. film company or someone else, another country that wants to document this, because as you know, people love Iceland from all over the place, and then it could be a film that's shown here for tourism, but also somewhere else,
Yeah, this is so good. This is so graphic. This is and there would be. This would leave me with hours and hours of footage that can be used in many projects, and so this has been on my mind for some time. But I thought, okay, if I'm moving to document this, I might also consider the Tjörnes fracture zone.
Yeah, on the north end.
Yeah. Because have you been to Húsavík?
Yeah, I was there yesterday.
Have you seen the fault through air? Yeah. And that is,
and all around the north side, there's other faults through there.
Yeah.
And, it's different.
And they did. I remember this when during the last earthquake period, when the sea got sucked out from the bay, and the sea retreated and then came back, and there were casualties. There were seamen that perished during that huge earthquake.
What year was that?
That was in the 70s.
Okay.
This has been extremely well documented. So I made a video about this fault, 15-20 minute video, and I had to go twice because the ground displacement that I read about was of such kind that I had to go and fly out to the sea where I could see the fault come up from the seabed.
Right.
And I really loved to film it. This was so graphic, but this is not for all,
Right.
Guys like you are, into it, but we can see the fault, go up beside the town. And there was a report that I found back then that was indicating very strongly that the earthquakes there were of such magnitude that it has not been documented before. We have always been led to believe that the largest earthquakes in Iceland were 7.1. But they said that the such earthquakes left ground displacement.
Displacement, right? Yeah.
And there are older earthquakes
that have more displacement.
Way more.
And it's more displacement from one earthquake or more displacement from several?
One.
Okay.
So this was a report made for a company that intended to open up an aluminum smelter just beside this fault. And we had back then a geologist as a minister.
Oh,
and one would have thought that he would say, "Come on, guys."
He would use his background in training, right?
Yeah, but they sold this building land to another smelter with silica smelter.
That's the one at Húsavík.
Yeah. And they built it even closer to the fault.
Yeah, it's right there, just north of town. Yeah.
And they even made the taxpayers pay a tunnel that when you're down in the fault where the scrapping is, and from that to the harbor.
Oh.
So I've been looking at them.
Like right across the fault.
Yeah. But there were experts in Reykjavík. I think it was Professor Ármann Höskuldsson that I frequently name. He said publicly, you know, you could have looked far and long, but you know, you could not possibly have found, you know, a worse place for this factory than there.
Bad sighting.
You know, absolutely the worst place in Iceland.
Yeah, they didn't consult the geologist there.
Well, I don't know what they did to the reports.
Yeah.
And this is something that I was thinking about when I made this video. I was kind of shocked. I was thinking, you know, okay, we just, you know, can, you know, hire all these experts and, you know, make all these reports and pay, you know, millions of Icelandic kronur for them, and okay, they don't fit.
And then we ignore them, right? That's not unique to Iceland. We do that. I think that happens everywhere. Just like, and then, you know, something happens, then.
I feel it's a bit insulting.
Yeah.
That, you know, they get away with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be a better process of locating those industries and looking at, especially in Iceland, the geology is everywhere. There's lots of hazards. Let's make sure we're putting things not too close.
Yeah.
So do you think the volcano activity will keep you the most busy moving forward, or do you think you want to, as if the Reykjanes is, you know, erupting for the next couple of years, will it maybe get less exciting and that'll force you to focus on other projects?
I'm kind of stuck with Reykjanes because because I started this so early. I made a video when the first earthquakes took place under Thorbjörn in 2020. And my idea for a documentary format has been that use my own words, use my own voiceovers at the time when those things happened, and a narration over that. So those who would watch it would get what I was thinking and feeling at the time.
Right,
so I would use maybe 10, 15, 60 seconds from each video at each time.
Put them all together.
Yeah, and then I would perhaps buy a professional voiceover about that, or do it myself. I have to think that over. But I have all the footage, and most importantly, I have so much of before-after footage.
Right.
And I think that will be very interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, you're documenting history, is what you're doing. You're documenting this landscape is changing right before our eyes. Yeah. And you're going in with before and after views and during to see how it's changing, which is it's incredible.
And also because I'm doing this from my perspective at the time of those events, you know, because some things there have been quite unbelievable. Like I tried in between to make videos that are sort of documentary style that I can refer to when something is happening around, like the video about the Tjörnes fracture zone. And when I made a such video about Grindavík, I turned out to be quite right in some cases, like the retirement home. And I was actually being sarcastic, but it's often my way to poke.
Poke the bear.
Yeah, and I was saying that we have a fault here, and they have built the longest building in town. Yeah, right across the fault. Yep. Right at the middle.
Right in the middle, and that's where the crack is.
Yeah, yeah. And I said that, you know, that in that video that I did not fully understand the purpose, but the logical reason is that they were trying to tie the fault together with the building. So,
and the earth was stronger. And the earth pulled it apart.
Yeah. So then making that video, I was, thinking, say what?
Yeah. Yeah. You just look at it and you're like, what happened here? So.
And like the fracture that is south from town and runs through town, it's a big fracture, and that was shocking. I saw it on an aerial photo in a company I was working for on the way to Reykjavik 2 years ago. I saw this aerial photo on Grindavík there, and I saw this crack there. And
on the old photos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I have to take it. So I filmed this. And that is one of the before-after shots that I have, because the ground sank there, and the pond got bigger, and I flew.
Yeah, just to the west.
Yeah, and I flew over there with a thermal drone the other day, because there had been stories about, whether lava would come up around there. But I couldn't get into town for a long time after this started.
Right.
And but I did a thermal tour. I don't saw anything that.
Nothing conclusive,
No, but enough that I will include it. I made a damage report video during my 2 trips into Grindavík, which you helped me with, and I still haven't made a video from it, because after I processed the footage, I was not in the mood for it.
Yeah.
It was, just depressing to look at this, and I thought, okay, I've showed a few bits, but I need to, when I have the time, to do a complete tour.
Yeah, yeah, and put it together the way you want to.
Yeah, and I want to include, I've been thinking, I think I want to include older footage also from Grindavík. The Grindavík I knew, where I lived in.
Yes, the town when it was there, when it was a real town. Yeah.
So this was just a shock for all of us.
Yeah.
And I remember the night when this all took place, November, that I was in Kópavogur. I had been every day before that. I had been there on the peninsula, but then I got a bad flu, and I thought, okay, I'm skipping this day. And but I had the camera webcam on the TV, and I could see it. That okay, it was a big earthquake. I could see the camera shake, and then I said, okay, 10 seconds, and then I would start to shake.
Yeah, and then you feel it. Yeah.
So it was so weird.
Yeah.
And then the road got ripped apart, and the people evacuated themselves.
Yeah, that night.
Yeah.
The 9th.
So there are many, many side stories to this whole scenario, the human factor, and how the authorities reacted, sometimes right, but sometimes it's nothing but mistakes.
Yeah.
And what I said like a few days after this, in one of my first videos, said there's only one thing we can do now, and it is to import houses.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And still,
import houses for the displaced people to live in.
Just modular houses.
Yeah, something you can put that they can move into immediately.
Yeah. And this is what we did after the Westman Island disaster in 1973, when there were 5,000 residents there. It was even worse there.
Yeah, more people.
And it's so, and then we have this big neighborhood in Grindavík with houses built for the people from Westman Islands. Most of those houses are in good shape now. It was a Scandic nation.
Yeah, they're on the west side of town, most of those.
Yeah.
But how crazy is that you would think for people to have been displaced from their homes twice in their own lifetime from a volcano, like what are the odds? Like that's crazy.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Like we had to leave the islands, and okay, we're here, we're safe now, and then 2020 comes along and like, oh no, here's another one. So this has been great. This has been great to talk with you, and just I think the viewers probably had enjoyed just
And I want to thank you, Shawn, for taking so good care of geology of Iceland with your geology online classroom for us.
Oh, you're welcome.
And one of the reasons I went into this was that after the 2014 eruption, Eyjafjallajökull, that's where my interest really was taken to another level. And I was looking, okay, there is, why is there so little coverage? So you have been filling a huge gap here in the market.
It's been fun. It's been fun to learn and then share what I learned, because I'm learning too.
Yeah.
So it's
my hopes are that as far as for our work, that we can use my footage, so I can seek, so the audience know that the plan is to use my footage to help you to both analyze and for me to come up with answers, because even though we are working in the same, we are working on. I'm doing this for the videos. You are this purely for the geology.
We're collaborating together. Yeah. We're going in the same direction. Yeah. We're just in different avenues.
Yeah. So I think it fits very well. Yeah. So this will only get better, hopefully.
Yes.
Although I'm trying to sell myself that we are doing okay.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be great, and we'll learn together through our videos, and we've got great viewers that can help us, learn as well. So, yeah. Well, thanks so much for your time. This has been great.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.